gang leader, cheater, drug dealer, convicted felon, amongst many other things. And I say that not to glorify it, but to tell you, if I can make it from where I've come from to where I'm at, why the fuck can't you? There's 4 things that I started to apply and made it the foundation of my success. Like if you can just take 1 or 2 of them, I can guarantee you're gonna see a drastic change in your trajectory. All right. Number 1, I got in the best physical and mental shape ever. This paves the foundation. Why? Because it's almost like if I have all these other demons that I'm fighting, like sobriety, like infidelity, I can work on myself to make those areas a little bit easier to work on. I didn't have a chance. I did not have a chance. You probably don't have a chance. If you don't know where to start, start with yourself. Start by working on yourself. And you know how that feels because the last time you logged in, how much better was everything around you? A lot. Why would you stop that? You're never gonna walk in the gym and back out feeling worse than you did when you walked in. It's not like if you walk into a club, yeah, you might feel, dopamine high when you get out of it, especially if you were talking to some girl and got her number or vice versa. You're a woman, you got some man's number and the guy gave you a little bit of compliments, right? But there is no greater feeling than showing up to a place that when you leave there, you come out better. Not just happier, not just drunker, not just higher, not just more distracted. All right. Get the right plan, get around the right people, acquire the right information, and get in the best shape. It's very simple. Learn how to exercise, learn how to strength train, and then learn how to build muscle. That is, as far as exercise, that's all you need to learn. Hypertrophy, strength training. All right. You want to incorporate a little bit of HIIT for cardiovascular health? Do so. This is not for some sort of athletic fucking evaluation, right? You're training for life. You're getting yourself ready to live a lifelong, legendary fucking life. And you can only do that by preparing the vehicle, right? You are the vehicle that's going to drive through all these experiences, through all these struggles, through all these, different levels of growth. You have to get yourself right. And there's more things that are going to come after that, right? Then you just have to learn simple dieting. Find out the foundational shit of calories and macros. That's all you need to learn. Then you can learn the more advanced shit like carb loading for performance purposes, and you want to build muscle and look better aesthetically, right? But health-wise, learn calories. Be in a caloric deficit if you have a lot of weight to lose. Learn macros if you want to build muscle. And obviously, the fats because it's what carries the nutrients to get you healthier. All right? Foundational. You have to get healthy. I can't tell you the next 3 if you don't get the first one, because the first one will set the standard for the other 3. All right. Number 2, lifestyle adjustments. And I'm pointing behind the camera because I have a blackboard that I go over with all my high-level clients that I break down every single one of these areas in their life personally for them. I'm actually working with a South Florida officer, a police officer now. And this is whose board I'm looking at. Obviously, confidentiality is a big thing for me, right? But this is how deep it gets. Lifestyle adjustments are the people, the places, and the activities you do in these places with these people. You have to get a good grasp on this because most people I've seen get healthy and they skip that part and they probably build some short-term habits like waking up early, like not drinking, like whatever it is, right? But it's above surface shit. And then I realized, damn, my clients keep going back and forth. Why can't they lock in? And it was because that second part, which I call the second corner of self-mastery. You have to make the lifestyle adjustments. You have to set your environment up to win. You have to have those crucial conversations with the people in your life. You have to tell them, look, this is what I'm on. I'm getting too off it. Don't ask them to join with you. Let me make that very clear. This is what I'm on. I don't expect you to join along, right? But I have kids. I have a mother I want to retire. Right? I have a life and fucking aspirations that I want to accomplish in this lifetime. Because there is no reset, there is no rewind, there is no start over. Right? All I ask is that you don't bring this, you don't talk to me about this when I come around you. That's it. Have that very direct conversation with your people. It's either going to go 1 or 2 ways. Either they're going to support you, which they should. Hey, look, just imagine someone coming up to you and telling you, I just want to change. I'm not going to talk down on you. I'm not going to look at you any different. I want to change and maybe inspire you to change as well, because we come from the same place. And if you see I can do it, why the fuck can't you? All I ask is don't tempt me with the things that you know can have me go off pivot. That's it. Have those conversations, right? Stop going to those places, because what happens is that, for example, tomorrow's Thursday, happy hour. You're used to, getting together with the coworkers, and it's a thing you do every week. You're gonna have to stop going to 4 happy hours, 5 happy hours, 8 happy hours before it leaves your mental. Every Wednesday night and Thursday morning during work, all you are going to think about is that fucking happy hour. So physically, you have to remove yourself from these environments before internally you can rid yourself of the thoughts and the temptation and the desires of being in these places. Again, listen, coming from where I come from, right? I've helped thousands of people. I've worked, I will say, with a good 600-700 people personally, one-on-one on a high level, where I've helped and they've succeeded with this exact thing. All right. So not only are you going to have to stop going to the places, but you might even have to move out of the places. Hey, look, I'm just telling you, you don't have to do it. And then don't be mad when you don't make change in your fucking life. I moved out of my hometown, and that was my biggest life hack. I can mention a handful of clients that when they just made that one change, just that one change, right? Everything changed. They made more money. Their kids stopped drinking. There's so much shit that can happen when you remove yourself and your loved ones from environments that don't fucking serve you. You're not a fucking tree. Don't make the excuse, it's supposed to be scary. Move out of your fucking hometown if everyone around you or everyone that knows you or everything that you know is not the version of the person that you want to become or aligns with that. Biggest life hack ever. I moved out of my hometown. And then the activities. Once you get those two first parts down packed, right? The people and the places, the activities by default will start to diminish. You're no longer going to want to do these things because you're no longer hanging around with these people and you're no longer hanging around in these places. It's going to be very hard to do something by yourself that you used to do with other people because you kind of enjoyed it. What you don't realize is that your belief systems revolve around a group of people. You're not a free thinker. You don't think for yourself. You don't like your own fucking company, and that alone is a problem. All right, number 3, habits. And I'm going to tie this one in with sobriety. Habits is an inside job. After you've done the external, the changes outside of yourself, this is where you can start to solidify the internal changes, which is habits. Yes, the waking up early. Yes, if you were dabbling in some, sideways shit or whatever, you're going to have to align yourself with the legitimate shit, the shit that's going to keep growing and you don't have to walk over eggshells in. The habits are crucial, and habits dictate your future and your success, right? You don't fall to your systems. You rise to your habits. If you have systems in your life because you have to have systems in your life, right? If you have systems in your life that probably aren't the strongest, your habits will solidify your systems, and eventually your systems will start to complement your habits, right? If you did all those changes, you got the plan, you're getting in shape, you're showing up to the gym, you're meal prepping, you're eating what you have to eat, you made all the changes outside of yourself, and then you're trying to build the habits, you essentially don't really have nothing but a fresh slate to work off of. So you have to start building the habits that are of the person who you want to be. You're gonna have some sort of imposter syndrome during this phase. I remember when I used to walk around when I was incarcerated with my shirt tucked in, a belt held up high, and the people used to look at me, why you got your shit so high? Because I want to fucking sag my pants. Did it look good on me? No. I had long hair, tattoos on my face. I used to walk with a mean ass limp, but that's who I wanted to be. That's who I wanted to grow into. I used to walk around with a lined paper, right? Folded in 4, and in each line I had 2 words and the full definition form. I read the dictionary probably more than 10 times. And I would read the dictionary, I would write a word down that I wanted to learn. And since it was folded in 4, I used to open it, and it used to be about 40, I think it was 40 words on 1/4 of the paper. And I would pull it out, and I would read about 4 or 5 of them about every hour, and I'll go use them in conversation. Right? And mind you, this was all happening in the worst environment. But this is the thing. Even Though I was in the worst environment, okay, I had those conversations with the people because obviously I was well known in there. I stopped hanging around the people or going to the places where I knew the gossiping was going to go on and, oh, I used to be this and I used to have that. Fuck what you used to be. The worst conversation that you can start with anybody is remember when. What are you remembering? If you're talking about remember when, those two words, right? Remember when. That means that you do not have the capacity or ambition to do that plus more. Get away from those remember when people. But habits are crucial, guys. And I say sobriety ties in with that because let's just say you're focused on some. It's 3 o'clock in this 2 o'clock in the morning, right? These are my 2 o'clock thoughts. Look at this, 2:05 a.m. And this is the energy that I have. If I didn't have solid habits right now, I would have rather disappeared and I got lost in some fucking temptation, lust, or distraction. Being sober puts you at such an advantage. Being healthy and being sober is my cheat code. I don't care how much smarter you are than me. I don't care how longer you've been in the game. If I have those two on you, I am going to run fucking circles around you. I do not put myself at any disadvantage that me by choice can change or better. The only disadvantage that I have are things that I have no control over, whether it be time, whether it be experience and wisdom. But if I'm choosing to be a sloppy slob motherfucker with a badass body and have distractions and no willpower to control myself from things that have no life, you understand that alcohol has no life, but somehow it grows feet when you're the most vulnerable, climbs up your shoulder and shoves itself in your fucking mouth. Drink me, you weak motherfucker. Having shit like that should not have that much control over you, have that much control over you, it's a fucking problem in itself. So yes, habits are crucial. You need to build them. And then there's levels to this shit. You have the more basic foundation habits, right? The wake up time, the consistency with your gym routine and not going on the weekends. You have the more basic shit. Then you have like high performance habits. And we'll get to that in another video, right? Because if I'm being honest, I'm probably 3-4 years into that. I love it, right? I'm still getting to know it. I'm still advancing in it. I mean, I can go over a few of them, right? But when you start to think of high performance or high level habits, it's something when you speak about, which is why I don't want to necessarily speak about it on this video. When you speak about this shit in a big room, meaning room with people who have basic ideologies and perceptions of life, you sound crazy. You sound crazy. And I can say just this, right? When shit gets hard in my life, I lean into the hard. I don't lean into the soft or the comfort, right? But like me saying that in public or around a bunch of, normal people who don't have much ambition, it sounds crazy. Oh, Eddie, you need to take a break. No, that's exactly what you don't do, because that's how you actually get eaten alive by life. So what does a habit like that look like in someone who is thriving and continuing to build? Okay, you have the pressure of debt, of employee bills, of retired mom, of child support, of a bunch of expenses, of a bunch of losses, and you just want a break. You just want a distraction, but you decide to say, you know what? I'm going to be up at 2-3 in the morning, working my ass off while I still have youth on my side, and I am going to fucking persevere. When you stretch yourself and you almost fall in love with pressure, it creates diamonds. When you avoid pressure and you're scared of it, it breaks pipes. The size of the problem determines the size of the person and their goals. But yeah, that's just one of many. And again, I'm just getting into them. I pay a lot of money to get in rooms with high level people, with thought leaders, and just listening to people and how they think. And when they talk about it, like the Tony Robbins, and there's not many people I look up to, but like the Bedros Keuilians, these guys have been doing this for 30 years. So when you have normal conversation with them, it's only normal to them, right? It's like mind-blowing every other sentence to me, because it's like, holy shit, that's how you think? That's how you move? Fuck. Obviously, you look super young. You take care of yourself. You have emotional intelligence and you have mental control. I need to learn something from this person. And then the last thing, by default, of the first three is mindset. Mindset is an umbrella. Mindset is not something that once you build, you sustain it. Mindset is something you have to continue to work on. What is mindset? When you hear the word mindset, I think people like throw that word around very loosely, right? Mindset to me is the umbrella of character. You know, your like moral compass. Because I mean, you can have a strong mindset, but if you have no emotional intelligence, you have no direction. You do things from a place of like stoicism, but you're fucking people over. It can be detrimental, right? Like you had the Hitlers, and then you had the Malcolm X's. You know, you have different levels of mindset that can be used in completely different ways. And again, think about this, right? By default, the first three, if you were that person who is mentally strong, like cartel leaders and mafia mobsters, they didn't have their health intact. Their lifestyle, everyone around them was talking about murder, drugs, and sex. Their only habits was to make sure they woke up without the feds knocking on their door, or they got home alive. That was her habits. That was my habits. You see where that comes from? So I've always been mentally strong as shit. I've been through a lot of shit, right? But I feel like the mindset is the umbrella of everything that makes up not only a strong person, but a person who moves with integrity, a person who has values, a high value individual, right? Yeah, mindset is something you have to continue to work on. Mindset is something you have to continue to challenge. It's not a muscle like a bicep that you can grow and sustain, right? The second you think, oh, I've made it to a certain place in business, in your relationship, parenting, the second that you accept I am staying here is the second you decide to sabotage. Maintenance is low-key self-sabotage. Consistency, meaning doing the same shit without persistently pursuing something of higher value or a bigger goal, you'll end up falling off. Why? Because it's monotonous. Think about it. You run 5 miles every day. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to stop taking any effect. You go to the gym 5 days a week. Cool. What's next? You lift the same fucking weight. You're not going to grow, right? So you have to do whatever you're doing harder, longer, stronger. This shit gets very interesting when you just fall in love with the process, guys. Again, I'm up at 2 something in the morning creating this video for you. I have to be up in a few hours and I'm just high off of life. I drink nothing but water and soda water. I'm lying. You know what? I've actually started taking nootropics. Helps with my focus, but this is life. This is energy. This is a motherfucker who has been through it all. The breakups, I've been broke as shit. I've been broken. I've been in a lot of very tough predicaments in all areas of life. You have that person that I'm sure everyone in here looks up to, but little do they know they had that one weakness. It's like that kryptonite. And once it hits and they break, they turn into a completely different person. Most men is either women or drugs. And now with social media, fame and status, I've seen people sell their soul to all of them. I've been through it all and even more. I've made more money probably. I've been on TV and reality TV shows. I for sure have had, way better women and have, been tempted to get into shit that I know wasn't going to serve me long term, or even emasculate myself to try to fix things that I know just didn't serve me. And I've never broken. Life gets interesting, man, when you just fall in love with yourself and your personal development. Everything growth. Like that's all I think about. I don't think about nothing gossip. I don't think about nothing, negative. Like when you occupy your time with so much growth shit, there is no room for things that you don't have to fucking entertain. It gets very interesting, man. Find your path, get lost in personal development. First, get lost in working on your best self, physically and mentally. Everything else will start to flow. Eventually, you have tried to do this weight loss thing so many times that you'll get to a place where you're like, you know what? I want this shit to last. I need to fucking lock in my lifestyle adjustments. And then you'll start to build the habits again, naturally. And by default, the mindset is just something that you continuously learn to really challenge and put through even more fucking fires and walk through more storms to grow out of. And that is my late night rant. I want to document this shit and just take you guys through all the shit that I've been through and through all the stages that I'm going through it, so you guys know what it takes, man. Love you all. Thank you for sticking around and brace yourself. We're just getting started.